Greetings, fellow book lovers. I know the year is ending and we couldn't leave you without showering a little literary magic. So grab the edge of your seats because today we have with us the renowned author Aurijit Ganguli, who will be sharing with us the secrets of his thrilling masterpiece, the Shambala Sutras. So, to tell you something about the author, born and raised up in the streets of Calcutta, he was exposed to some of the best literature and theatre since his childhood. He completed his undergraduate from the University of Calcutta and he is working as a management consulting. He made his debut in the world of literature with the Shambala Sutras in 2020, and I have had the pleasure to read this book and I'm very grateful for it. So, talking about the book follows Lisa and Arjun on their journey to the Western Himalayas from New York as they go on to find the mythical Sanjeevani plant from the Ramayana epic. And as they follow, they discover surprising things and find a mythical place full of knowledge and power. So as they go forward, they face global challenges, but danger, adventure, and mystery trails them. So do check out this book if you're a fan of mythology, science, history, philosophy, and treasure hunting. Thank you, Arjit, for being here. It's an honor to host this session, and I'm very grateful for it.
Well, thank you, Mahi. And I loved your introduction. I would love to live up to it. Let's see how it goes. But we would like to have the conversation in such a way so that we don't give out too many spoilers.
Yeah,
This book is an adventure thriller. And I would definitely love the readers to go through the pages, turn the pages with the sense of suspense. So definitely we would have the conversation in a way so that we don't give out too many spoilers.
Yeah, okay, sure. So the readers, do check out the book if you want to know the spoilers because we won't be giving any now. And if you have any questions for the author, do drop them in the comments below. We'll be sure to answer them. So starting off, I just want to talk about the cover of the book. Like, the cover of the book is what hooked me from the very start, especially the scriptures. And then it's the coloring of the book itself gives Indian mythology vibes. And then the mantra. It's fascinating to say the least. So I just want to know what went behind the designing process of the book, and how does this encapsulates the emotion of the book?
Well, it's a very good question. In fact, when I wrote this book, I was discussing with some of my close friends about how to kind of design, and I was thinking about the cover, and I had few options, and then thought that I should drop a clue on the cover which will hook the readers and inspire them to know more about the book. So that was the whole idea. Even the publishers had suggested a few other covers, but I thought that this cover would be the most appropriate one because
Yeah,
this leaves you with a specific trail in order to find what is more in the book. And the cover which shows you a scroll with a specific Buddhist mantra, that's a very important part of the book.
that is really interesting. Like, are you also the person that judges a book by its cover? Because as a reader, I must say the first thing I do when after picking up the book is judge its cover.
Well, you should not, but but in this case, I thought why shouldn't I design a cover in a way so that it gives some kind of insight, if not
Yeah,
more, to the readers and hook them and inspire them to go inside and find out what is inside.
yeah, that is true. Like, cover does play an important role because when you're in a bookstore, the first thing you do is look at the cover of the book. And
That's
it's really interesting how you made this so much suitable to the what's inside the book. And another interesting aspect of the book are like the drawings and the maps. And I find this so refreshing because these become important when you're in a fictionary world or an imaginary world to know where is this or how does this look. So how did you come across the idea of including this in your book? And was it always that from the start, it was that you will include these in your book?
See, Mahi, this is my first book, right? So, as I started writing the book, I didn't have the idea of putting these maps or illustrations. Then, as middle of the book, somewhere I thought that if I am the reader, how would I like to read this book? So, then I thought that, okay, fine, I would always love my readers to visualize, to imagine the setting, the scenario in a way so that they can absorb the interesting aspects of the story more effectively. So from that perspective, I thought, why don't I give some illustrations, some maps, so that they can actually understand what exactly the scenario is all about. So it all came from my thought of putting myself in the shoes of a reader and look at the book.
That is such a unique aspect. Like, this is actually so thoughtful of the author as well to put themselves in the reader's shoe and not just write for themselves, write for the readers because that is their target audience. And
Absolutely. And I have been a fan of an adventure thrillers for so many years, in fact, since my childhood. So, and especially in some of these books, there were illustrations. But nowadays, most of the adventure thrillers, you hardly see these illustrations,
yeah,
right? So I thought it would add some value for the readers.
yeah, it sure does. Like, it made the reading experience a little more interesting for me.
I hope so. Yeah.
And another thing that I find about this book that is very unique is that I have read a lot of books and like the mythological about the mythology that talk about them. A common aspect is to include the places that are already famous or epics that are already famous, like a spin-off on Ramayana or Mahabharata. But what you have done is taken a place that it's like it's not that famous. Like I had not heard of it before, and I'm a history honor student, so that's saying something. And especially all the extensive research you have done. Like, I'll just like to show the readers the reference page Aurijit has included in the book in the end. And it's like he has done an extensive amount of research. Okay. So, how do you come up with this? Like, what is your approach on this? And how do you find it interesting? Especially your background is in engineering, right? So,
Right.
how did this idea come forward to do so much of research on historical places that are not known of before?
See, the thing is that when I started writing books, so I thought that why am I writing this book? And even this was my first book. I didn't have an idea that I would write a second book or probably think about a third book later, right? But then I asked myself, and so why am I writing this book? The answer which I got was that I'm writing this book, or I would write books going forward, primarily with the objective of bringing little or unknown facets of spirituality and prehistoric elements to the mainstream readers. And there are so many of them. The
Yeah.
more I researched, the more I found out that I didn't know anything. So that was a big realization because I've been a fan of history as well since my childhood, and I've read plenty of books and done a bit of a research as a hobby. But when I started working on this book, and it was just mind blowing that there are several and so many aspects that we have even not heard of. For example, this place called Shambala.
Yeah.
Now, this it's relatively unknown with the mainstream audience, but this has been mentioned repeatedly in Buddhist and even in our ancient Hindu scriptures, right? So, but people are not aware of it. What is the concept of Shambhala? Where is it? How is it? So I thought, why don't I do research and get some more inputs and share it with the audience? But I didn't want this to be a research project because what happens, research inputs, even if you put in the form of a very detailed one, sometimes becomes monotonous for the readers.
Yeah.
So my objective has always been to do the hard work, do the research, and put it in a way so that it becomes interesting for the readers to consume. That is why I always put the facts and figures in the package of an interesting story, or I try to make it as interesting as possible so that they can consume the facts and figures not as a research inputs, but more as a part of a narrative or a storyline. That has been my objective. And if the readers like it, from whatever inputs and feedback and reviews I have received, readers have taken it very, very positively and they have liked the book. So my effort has been well served.
Yeah, that is true. I definitely did like it. Like as the history heart, the history kid in me definitely loved this. Like it was a totally new place for me to be introduced to. And then it was not like you introduced this place and then left the readers hanging. You told all the facts about the place, all the philosophies that are included, and I found that really, really great in the book. And okay, so were there any personal experiences that shaped the book, considering it was your first book as well?
So I would say this going through this whole exercise of doing the research and writing was a grand experience. In fact, I would probably equate with meditation, So the whole aspect of doing the research, because you need a lot of focus, you need a lot of dedicated time and
Yeah.
direction in order to do this. And I had to read a lot of books, I had to go through a lot of papers in order to understand that. And yes, I was also helped in this entire effort by my research partner. And but the whole aspect was that it was very, very intense exercise of I would say 3 to 4 months, which resulted in this book.
As you compared the research session with meditation, like in another session with author Amol Redej, he said that writing for him is catharsis. So I guess that is a common trope among all the authors.
That's absolutely right. Absolutely right.
Okay, so how would you describe your writing style and how does it contribute to the experience you want your readers to have while reading the book?
See, the objective of my writing is to provide a little bit of educative elements and wholesome entertainment. The objective is not
Yeah.
to kind of, write monotonously and with a perspective of preaching something. That's not the objective, right? So I want to tell a story which should be palatable to audience of all ages. It doesn't matter, even if you are in class 4 student or you are 80 years old person, you should love this story. That's my objective. And it should be a wholesome entertainment. It should be, it can be read and discussed in a family setting. And
Yeah.
it should be a story so appealing, and that's what I try to make it. It should be so appealing so that the reader would love to gift it to someone whom they care for. So that is the whole objective of this writing.
I would definitely consider gifting this to one of my adventure loving friends who go all every day on treks and all. I would like, you read this book, you see if you can go on this track.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
can you tell us more about your journey of being an author and like how do you balance your personal and professional journey? Like, I am a college student and I'm hardly balancing my college life. So, kudos to you for balancing both so greatly.
It's sometimes challenging, no doubt about it. But you know what? When I wrote Shambala Sutras,
Hmm.
I had an advantage. It was written in March, April time frame of 2020. That was when the COVID struck
Yeah.
and we were all in lockdown. So at that point of time, I didn't have any projects either. So I had some empty time to write it. The challenge happened more when I wrote my second book. That
Yeah.
we'll tell some other day.
Hmm.
But in this case, as far as time availability is concerned, that was not that big a challenge. So circumstantially. But one of the interesting aspects of this book is that I wrote this in March and April when COVID struck for the first time. And I took the liberty of my imagination of how this COVID would probably unfold and have incorporated some of my imagination and prognostications in the book, which
Yeah.
actually later turned out to be true. So that was some kind of a surprise as well as a satisfaction for me.
That would have given you such a God complex, like predicting the future. When I read the book, when I read the ending, yeah,
Sorry, you said something, I missed it.
uh-huh. Continue, continue.
No, no. So what I was saying is, you are referring to me as an author and author. Well, I still think I am just a storyteller. I have hardly written a couple of books, and I don't know whether I qualify to be termed or labeled as an author yet. And your question also asked me about the writing style, right? So I try to write in a style which is again simple and easy to comprehend. Okay,
Hmm.
the language and all. I don't want to make it too complex for people to assimilate the elements of the story. So it's written in a very simple, flowing narrative, so that as if someone is sitting beside you and telling the story.
Yeah.
That's the whole objective of writing it.
Hmm.
Okay. Not too much of philosophy, not too much of deeper reflection of life, not too much of description of characters, and not too much of description of nature. So, whatever little is required, and to make it interesting and to keep the narrative flowing. So that is how I have tried to write. How successful I have been, a reader like you can probably tell.
No, the writing was easy to comprehend, and it was like when the writing becomes too hard, it becomes. I have not read classics much because the writing is too hard, and I don't want to pour so much of my time in understanding each and every line. So the writing was easy to comprehend, and the storyline was so entertaining that it kept with the flow. And the book can be read in one sitting. It's like it's that interesting, it can be read in one sitting. So you
Absolutely.
definitely
See,
did your job.
absolutely. I hope so. Thanks. So in terms of classics, see, I have grown up reading literature, especially English and Bengali, whether it's
Hmm.
Shakespeare, whether it's Ibsen's plays, whether it's Thomas Hardy, Jane Austen, so on and so forth, right? But I always loved this writing style. But somewhere I thought I'm not sure whether that writing style would appeal to the audience of 21st century,
Hmm.
right? So, and also this genre is a little different, right? I have been a fan of Dan Brown and Stephen King and our own Amish and Ashwin Sanghi, right? So I wanted to write in a style which would be easily comprehensible and consumable by the readers. That's
Hmm.
the whole objective.
Yeah, when reading the book, I did get the vibes that this was similar to Dan Brown's book. Like I have even read The Mystery Mountains, and I got the same vibes. Like you would include adventure, you would also include facts about the places there are or the like civilizations there are. So the Dan Brown vibe was definitely there.
Oh, thank you. I'm flattered.
And you mentioned that you have got positive feedback from your readers, and writing to the audience, you write to the audience to receive regular and honest opinions. And constructive criticism are a must, especially to an artist. So how important is readers' feedback to you, and how do you like engage with your readers?
This is very important. At the end of the day, it's the readers which matter most,
Yeah.
right? So I'm writing for the readers as well as I'm writing for myself, right? To express a thought, an idea. But at the end of the day, if it does not appeal to the readers, it's a
Hmm.
futile attempt at the end of the day. So readers' feedback is very, very important to me. And I generally listen to their feedback, take their feedback, and understand where probably I can improve. So it's definitely a very, very important for me.
Like if there are some negative feedbacks or something constructive criticism, then are you thankful to the reader? I'm hoping so.
Oh,
Like,
I am.
yeah,
But so far for Shambala Sutras, I have not received any negative feedback yet.
I don't think there
So
is.
yeah, so I don't know, but so far I haven't received. Most of the people have been the feedback or the input has been more like, oh, is there something like this?
Yeah.
Oh, is this can happen? So it was more like filled with I would say surprise and filled with, if I may use the word, awe. So
Hmm.
that was the reaction and the response which I have received from the readers.
And especially the fact that this is your first debut book. It doesn't look like
Yeah,
a debut book to me. That
that
is,
I can't say for
no,
the readers
I'm,
to
yeah,
assess.
that is why I'm saying now that it doesn't look like a debut book. So the awe aspect is definitely there because the
Okay.
research in your first book is like applaud worthy.
No, it took me a lot of time. It's not easy again. So it took me a lot of time. And again, I'm thankful to my research partner who helped a lot. Yeah, but it was a lot of time. Again, I had that time because it was a lockdown,
Hmm.
and I don't know whether I should say this, but I would complete this book flat in 3 months. So
Wow.
March I started, March, April, May. By mid of May it was done,
That's
and it was
fascinating.
published in May. Yeah.
That's fascinating. Assignment papers don't get completed in such a short time.
So I got that leeway, that circumstantial break.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it would not have been completed. Because my second book, Mystery Mountains, it took me a very, very long time to write.
The God was on your side for the first book.
Probably, I don't know. But I wouldn't like that kind of a favor.
Yeah.
Definitely, I wouldn't like this kind of outbreak of COVID and circumstantial lockdown. Definitely, I would not like it, but it happened.
Yeah. Serendipity.
Yeah, you can say that. Yes.
And now I know the book is mainly about adventure and solving mysteries, but I believe each story holds a beautiful message in it. So, what message do you hope to convey to the readers through your books?
See, again, I don't mean to be preachy. All I am saying in my books is that, hey, look beyond the general available knowledge and explore areas which is still unknown or little known today, areas of spirituality, areas of prehistoric elements. Okay, so there are so many things in the world and we know so little. So my objective or my message to my readers is just don't remain confined with your day-to-day knowledge. Explore beyond that. That's all I want to say.
Yeah, that is such a beautiful message. And I feel like while reading the story, there were like subtle messages hidden everywhere, like those moral values that we see, that was hidden everywhere throughout the book. Like, the determination, the strength to keep moving forward when you are facing danger, like not to lose hope. And the subtle messages were everywhere. And this that you told to explore something new. That is a very beautiful message indeed.
Thank you.
And I would say, like, while reading the book, I felt like it would make such a great movie, especially considering the elements of thrill and adventure. And, as readers, we do imagine some actors or some like famous people as the characters. So, and considering this trend of books being adapted into movies, have you ever thought that Shambala Sutras would get would get adapted? And are there any dream cast in your mind?
Well, actually, you touched already raw now. Yes, I have definitely imagined about that. But who would make that movie? I don't know. If you want to make it, you're always welcome.
Yeah.
Okay. So in terms of the cast, I had some thoughts. For example, the male protagonist and the female protagonist, Arjun and Lisa. Arjun definitely, I would like to be someone. He's a botanist, right? But he hails from Tamil Nadu.
Yeah.
Probably someone like Vijay Thalapathy, or probably can do justify, or someone like probably Harish Kalyan. These are all famous South Indian actors, probably who can do justify this role. In terms of Lisa, she's a chef. She's a
Yeah.
chef, but she's an American.
Hmm.
Uh, Probably I had someone like Ashley Judd or Jennifer Connolly in their youth, obviously, in their youth, probably would do great justification to this character. For others, Sarah Jordan, probably she's a middle-aged botanist. She's a
Hmm.
professor. Probably someone like Emma Thompson would do a great justice. That's what I thought. Even Meryl Streep can also play that kind of a role. So that's my idea. I don't know what readers would think. In terms of the two other major characters, Vishnu,
Hmm.
so he's a villager in Uttarakhand.
Yeah.
So probably, and he's also in his 30s. Probably Vicky Kaushal can play, and his wife Sumati, probably Anushka Shetty. So those are the characters which I have in mind. The other major character is Professor Vijay. So I had two names in my mind. One probably could be Anupam Kher or Nasiruddin Shah. So these were the names which came to my mind, and I always love to imagine my story in the form of a movie, and because I'm a great fan of good movies,
Yeah.
especially adventure movies, and so yeah, so you hit it on the nail probably when you ask this question.
Yeah, I could see there was a lot of thought that has gone behind this.
And I don't know, but probably you have also noticed the story is written in the form of a script,
Yeah.
more like a script, meaning it's
Hmm.
more adaptable to a script writing. If you take my story, it's very easy to derive a script from there. That is how it's written. Even my second book is also written in that way. It's very easy to derive a script from there. So I don't know, subconsciously, probably I had this in mind. I was never aware of this when I was writing, but it just happened.
Yeah, you were future thinking. Like,
Yeah, so it was not a very conscious thinking, but it
hmm.
happened.
Yeah, when it does get adapted into a movie, I need a free ticket. I read
Oh,
the
sure,
book.
you
I
would.
asked you the
As long as
question.
I get it, you would get it too.
Yeah. Okay, so what advice would you offer to aspiring authors who are looking to embark on their own writing journeys now that you are the author of two successful books?
See, let me tell you, I don't think I have reached a position to offer advice to anyone. So I would rather stay away from this. Okay. I am myself an aspiring author. I'm trying to kind
Yeah,
of get my books published. So I don't think I have reached that position. So I'm fine. I'm happy in what I'm doing. And for the authors who would like to start writing a book, I would rather say that hey, just go and let your emotions and message flow, but try to make it as wholesome as possible for your audience. And
yeah,
I mean, don't get my and this is my observation. It's not an advice or preaching for anyone. I always thought that let's not get bogged down in the same old uh, genres. Try to find your own genre and
yeah.
write something. Okay, instead of recycling the old wine
Hmm.
in a new book or a new bottle, whatever you call it. So that would be my way of thinking.
That is a beautiful advice, and I hope the future authors who are listening to this session do take it to heart. And I want to ask, how do you like envision your journey from here? Like, are they, as you said, that find their own genre? So you have found your own genre that is adventure thriller, but do you in future see yourself exploring some other genres?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what future holds, but as of now, I would rather stick to adventure thrillers because I'm more comfortable in this genre.
Okay, yeah. The book does seem does seem that you are comfortable in it and you're excelling in it.
I hope so. Thank you.
So before we wrap up the session, our audience is eager to know what Aurijit Ganguli reads. Like, what books would you recommend? What are your favorite authors? And do they have the same writing genre as you or different?
See, I read a lot of books, both fiction and non-fiction, right? So, and as I said, I've grown up reading uh, both English and Bengali fictions and non-fictions, right? And including classics, all kind of classics. And but nowadays, I guess I read more non-fiction, like Yuval Harari and Robin Sharma. I do read fictions too, but probably my time is taken more by non-fictions than fictions.
Okay, nice. It's good to know that even if you're like, even as you experience gaining more experience, you're still stuck to fiction.
Yeah, see, the other thing is also it's also a demand of my profession. I have to read a lot
Yeah.
of
Hmm.
profession-related books as well. As you know, I'm in management consulting, right? So I work with B2B companies to help them grow their business. So that demands me reading a lot of books which are subject-oriented, non-fiction books. So that takes a lot of time as well.
Okay. So thank you so much for answering these. And that brings us to the end of our live session with the one and only Aurijit Ganguli. I want to extend a huge thank you to you, Aurijit, for joining us today and sharing your valuable insights and expertise in the mastery of words. It has been an absolute pleasure to have you here with us.
Thank you, Mahi. I really appreciate you having me on this meeting. Thank you so much and have a great day.
And to the wonderful audience, thank you for your active participation. Your presence made this live session truly special. For those who want to stay connected with Aurijit, don't forget to follow him on social media and do check out his website. And the link for all his books will be available in Booknerds Instagram bio. You can also follow Booknerds on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and other platforms to stay updated on more such exciting events and live sessions. And I wish you all a very fulfilling new year. Hope the next year brings you loads and loads of books to read. At least I hope it's true for me. And for you, Arjit, I hope the next year brings a new book to us from your side.
I hope to. Thank you so much. And again, wishing you and your family a wonderful new year ahead.
Yeah, okay. Happy reading, and we look forward to connecting with you all soon. Until then, take care, stay curious, and keep exploring the world of literature. Thank you.
Thank you.